I left my soul on state road, yo, we are not the same.
Hey, yo, welcome to the State Road Show. So today I want to talk about a problem that I had. Well, it was more than a problem. What a connect that I had. Now, I want to explain one thing real quick first. My channel is all about deterring kids and young adults from going down the same road that I went. You know, where I come from, a lot of my street experiences come from dealing, trapping, whatever you want to call it. So that's why I'm broaching topics like this. I can't get on here and tell my life experiences without including them all. You know, like I tried to skirt around certain issues and things like that, but I'm not going to do that anymore. You know, the only way people are going to learn from my mistakes is to hear about these situations. And sorry, my mic's giving me a problem. I got to get a new one, so we're going to go without a mic today. So with that being said, in my area of Kensington, I had a reputation for being able to move a lot of dick. I had a lot of people coming to me, really good clientele. You know, I worked the phone. I wasn't on a corner at this point. You know, things were going smooth, you know, and people took notice. You know, the right people, not like rats and cops and shit like that, but people who were connected. So I used to get my tattoos done by this Puerto Rican dude. We'll call him Demo. So he used to do tattoos for me, this and that. So I get my second tattoo from him one night, and he goes, "Man, you know, I heard you're doing it pretty big. You know what I mean? Like, you know, who you going through, this and that." And it's a circle. You know, like everybody knows everybody that's in that lane. So I'm like, I'm getting it from such and such. Well, just to let you know, I can get some better shit. I go to these Colombians and Dominicans. Okay, let me holler at you about that later. So, like, what happens to everybody who's in that life, the dude I was getting it from, you know, he had a dry period. You know, it was like a no-go. I got people blowing up my phone, you know, seeing me on the street like, "Oh, what's up, man? You fell off or whatever." So in that line of life, you can't let that happen. It ruins your reputation. The same with giving out bad shit and this and that. So I go holler at Demo, like, "Yo, can you still make that move happen?" "Oh, yeah, anytime. Anytime." So I'm like, "All right, let's do that." Now, with my reputation, I always got everything fronted, which means they give it to me, I give them what they want, I take off each thing. This was before I was in position to start grabbing my own shit in bulk and doing it that way. So he hits me up with a G-Pack, this and that, everything's going smooth. Things are going smooth for about 3-4 months. Then the curiosity gets to me. I start doing a little bit here and there. Half here, then it turned into a hole, then it turned into 2, then it turned into 3. Right? So I'm really messing up. I'm still turning it in, but sometimes I'm short. You know, sometimes it's this. And like I said, my reputation was so good that he's like, "Ah, don't worry about it." So he's handing me 3 G-Packs at a time sometimes when he had it like that. A 2,500 pack, whatever. So it turns out that my habit gets so bad that I'm not turning nothing over. He keeps coming over. "Yo, what's going on, man?" "Yeah, nah, I'm still sitting on it, man. Like, a couple people got locked up. You know, I'm trying to build up new clientele." "Oh, okay, no problem." And meanwhile, I got no intention on giving this dude nothing. Like, one thing about me back in the day, I gave 0 fucks. None. Like, I gave 0 fucks. I felt invincible. I felt untouchable. Like, it was just like, you know, if I do something you don't agree with or you got a problem with whatever I'm doing, let's have at it. Let's handle it that way. You know, like certain people have that mentality that, you know, I only know one way of handling shit. This is back then. You know, I still have those tendencies now, but I tame them a lot. You know, like I don't act on shit. You know what I mean? I don't jump out on people with road rage and shit like that. I know how to control it. But back then, forget it. Right? So he keeps coming around, calling, calling. So I said, look, I lost the pack. I got robbed. You know, they pulled up on me, which did happen one time. This couple pulls up on me. I go to the car. He has the money in his hand. I hand him the shit over, go to grab the money. His chick hits the gas, runs off him. I had my on me, and I was about to start banging at the car, but I'm like, that's a bad idea, because I'm right on my corner where I live. So that did happen. So I'm like, nah, man, I got burnt, this and that. Then I made up a story. Yeah, man, I got locked up. You got locked in. What the fuck? Paid bail, and I'm out, and this and that, and like, you know, I'll work it off or whatever. Then he drops a 5G pack off on me, and I'm like, it's over. Like, it's over. Like, there's no way, like, I'm gonna be able to control my habit, plus make enough money for me and to pay him back. So a couple days go by, he's calling. I'm not answering the phone. Fuck you. That was my mentality. So he don't contact me for a couple weeks. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess he got the picture, and whatever he wants to do, he wants to do. So one day, I got my girl at my house, and she lived in Port Richmond, but it wasn't too far. It was only about 6 blocks, and I used to walk her home. You know, it was our thing at night. We used to walk home, talk, you know. So I'm walking her home. I see this little red Honda following us. It goes past us, then it circles the block, goes past us again while we're walking. So I take notice, of course. Who the fuck is that? Because it wasn't Demo's regular car. It wasn't a car I knew. And I didn't have nothing on me at the time. My girl hated them. She hated them. You know what I'm talking about. So I drop her off. We talk a couple minutes on her porch. I start walking back. So I walk back. I walk down the same street. And what do I see ahead of me? The Honda. Parked on the left-hand side, the same side I'm walking. So I'm walking. And I get to the Honda. Next thing I know, the passenger door swings open. And his brother, Danny, gets out and starts swinging on me. We start rumbling. Shit ain't going the way he wants it to go. So the dude Demo was in the driver's seat. He hops out while we're fighting. I'm in the midst of fighting him. He hops out, grabs me by my shirt, and puts a Tech 9 to my stomach. Like, yo, where the fuck's my money at? So I'm like, man, I ain't got it, this and that. Like, you know what I mean? I'll get it back to you. I'm still sitting on shit. He's like, I'm tired of hearing that, bro. Like, you better tell me something I want to hear right now. I'm going to park you right here. So I said, bro, I'll get it to you, this and that. You know, like, you ain't got to do this. In the middle, in my mind, I'm like, damn, this dude's about to end me right here on this spot. And the other part of my mind is, if he don't, there's problems. There's problems. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, nobody's just going to pull up on me like this. You pull a gun on me back then, you better use it. So he's like, all right, I want my shit. This is your last fucking warning, this and that. I know where you live. My mom lived there. You know, it was just bad. I was young and stupid. I shouldn't have been shitting where I was eating, but that's just what I did. So I'm like, all right, this dude's coming, like, threatening to come to my house if I don't get a shit. He just put a gun on me. Like, his brother just hopped out. I gave him what I gave him. Because, not bragging, and I'm not the toughest dude in the world, but I could always throw these. So jumping out on me wasn't a good idea. He should have just jumped out with the thing. So anyway, a couple days go past. I'm drinking, thinking about the shit. I grab 2 of my boys and we hop in my car and start riding around looking for Demo. So I send one of my boys, who was also cool with him because he got some tattoos from him, to knock on his door and see if he's home. I parked around the corner. Nah, he's not home. So we're riding around looking for him or his brother. Thank God we didn't find him. because it was going to go down. That's how heated I was. That's how high, drunk, everything I was. I mean, people don't understand how bad that clouds your vision. Like if you're not into shit like that, it will cloud your vision so bad to ruin your life in 10 seconds. Like I always heard the cliche, don't let something that lasts 10 seconds give you 100 years or whatever. But that's just how it goes sometimes. So we're riding around, didn't find him. So his dad, I wind up finding out later, tells him that one of my boys came knocking looking for him. So he took that as a sign of, all right, it's war, it's on. So one night I'm sitting in the crib with my girl, and we're just sitting there, this and that. Haven't heard nothing from dude, but I'm ready. I got downstairs. I used to have a downstairs. I was on the second floor. I used to have a downstairs steps, and I put a piece of plywood between the door and my steps, where if anybody kicked my door in, I would hear about it. It would take a lot of effort, and I'd be able to do what I got to do. Next thing I know, all I hear is, it was an automatic Tech 9. Shot my car the fuck up. And I believe the only reason he didn't shoot my house up is because he loved my mom. Like, me and this dude were good friends. Like, we were good friends. You know what I'm saying? And I messed that up. I messed that up. But I didn't give a fuck, like I said. So, my girl's going to the ground, I'm going to the ground. And I'm thinking, after that, he's going to come in. Like, it's full on. But he skirted off, you know, because must have knew the cops were going to come. Somebody was going to call the cops. I know I wasn't. So after a couple minutes, I look out the window. There's nobody out there. Cops do show up. The car's parked right outside my house. They bang on the door. I don't answer. So whatever they did, wrote a report, this and that. They ran the plates. It was in my stepfather's name. A couple days later, they called him about it. But that's not the issue. So now, what I plan to do is, I don't even know how to say this on YouTube, eliminate his house. Up in smoke. Like, you came to my house, shot up my shit, now I'm gonna blow your shit up. That's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? An eye for an eye. Like, you pulled up on me, put a gun on me, now you're gonna shoot my house up just because I was looking for you? Okay. So a couple days go by, and I get a phone call. Now, he went through, like I said, Colombians, and they were Dominicans. I get a phone call from one of the Dominicans he introduced me to. Barely spoke English, but I understood him enough. He's like, oh man, we can work this thing out. You can work off the that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to see you. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I'm thinking like, man, if I go there, I might not walk out. But fuck it. So I banged, took my shit, and I went over there. Now, I go in there, I see Demo over here on the chair. I see this dude I never seen before. He was darker, so I imagine he was Dominican. So we sit down. The dude who introduced me, Demo's Connect, where he got the shit from. This is where I found out that Demo was a middleman. To where me owing him meant he owed them. So I'm like, this is gonna go bad. This is gonna go bad. So every dude over here is friendly. Dominican over there ain't saying a fucking word. He's staring daggers at me. Demo's sitting there like he's not even interested. Like, you know, I mean, we just went at it. I won't want to talk to me neither. There ain't nothing to talk about. So he's talking to me, this and that, and he says some shit in Spanish to Demo. And he's like, listen, he's like, we got to resolve this. How are we going to resolve this? I said, yeah, I owe him money, you know, but what's happened since, like, ain't no coming back from that. He said, listen, he said, all this shit is bad for business. He said, all this is going to do is make the neighborhood hot. He's like, what's going on with you? I was like, what do you mean what's going on with me? What's going on with you? Like, why haven't you done what you've always done? You using this shit? I put my head down. I'm like, yeah, man. I got caught up. He's like, that's rule number one. That's all he said. That's rule number one. I said, I know. He said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a 10-pack to pay us off. 10-pack so you can make a little money for yourself. I want $1,000 a week. Because at this point, I think I owed him like $6,500. Like, you know, $6,500 ain't a crazy amount in the civilian world. I mean, it's a decent amount. But in that life, yeah, that's a lot of money on the street. Somebody will, for $50, $20, $6,500. So he's just, listen, we're going to drop a 10-pack on you. You work that off. But if it don't come back, it's no good. That's exactly what he said to me. If it don't come back, it's no good. And I knew what that meant. And I know how they roll. So I was like, cool, I'll take it. Let's do it. So he goes, now we got to squash this. And he points to Demo. And I look at Demo. He looks at me. He shakes his head. I said, listen, I don't know about all that squashing and shit, but I'll have your money. He's like, well, I at least need you to shake hands to know that there won't be nothing going forward between you two. I didn't want to shake his hand. I didn't want to agree to that. It was my hard-headedness. It was my youngness, for lack of a better term. It was like my anger, you know, my reputation to retaliate, but it was the right thing to do. So we both stood up as men, shook hands, and I worked that shit off. Yeah, I still got high, but I gave them what they wanted. After that, I stopped with them, and later on, I started doing the corner shit. But yeah, that's how serious shit can get. You know, some videos I can give you a moral, some videos I can't give you a moral. This is one of the videos where I can give you a moral. Don't get into shit unless you absolutely have 100% contingency plans. You know, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? You know, should I really be doing this? You know, like, is this too heavy? Should I really deal with a friend? You know, because friendship and business don't mix. First of all, I advise you to stay away from that poison in general. Stay away from it. But if you're going to decide to dip your toe in that water, really feel the temperature. Really understand what you're getting into. And if you don't think you're ready or prepared, don't do it. Because it can get serious. He could have ended my life right there on that side street. Who the fuck knows if anybody would have seen it or stopped. You know, people ride by bodies all the time. People OD'd and shit like that. People just ride right past. So don't do it. Stay away. The streets are over. I don't want to get into why the streets are over. We all know why the streets are over. But yeah, anyway. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe, become a member of the State Roadshow community. Memberships are up. If you see something you would enjoy, join the family. Anyway, this is Kenzo, State Roadshow. And remember, it's cuffing season. Don't give them no fucking reason. I'm out. And as always, I got to shout out the family. Crybaby GBC, welcome to the family. Desrion Rudolph, Jeanette Hunt, Board, Lily, John Walker, Betsy Lou, and Ash Chayan. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Kenzo, out.